Hi guys. Oh man, the lighting. It's gonna do that thing again where it's all, oh wait, it went away. Fantastic. Hello everyone. My name is Bree, for those of you who don't, and I just put it all out there. I'm adjusting my pants, whatever. Okay. Hi, welcome to Just Breezy. I cannot with that lighting. Please go away because that's super distracting. There we go. I don't know. Hi, everybody. It is Tuesday. It is the day after Martin Luther King Day. I just got home a little while ago from work, and I did not plan to come on live right now. I didn't plan to do that, but I got an email. Hello, my only person. Hamsa? Am I saying that correctly? Hamsa? Hi, Lori, Firefly Farm. Hiya. Your name looks familiar to me. I feel like you sent me a comment on a video. I feel like I remember that name. But thanks for joining, guys. Like I said, I did not plan to come on live right now. But I got I got a message today that this is the second time this has happened to me, where I got a message from somebody. Yes, yes, okay, that's what it was, Lori. You did. You left me a message about the venlafaxine. I can't even say the medication that I'm on. So I say Effexor because it's like the venlafaxine. That one, yes. How are you doing, by the way? I had a few people write on that, but how are you doing? What's, if you don't mind me asking, if you don't want to put it in, that's okay. But I was just curious how you're doing. And if you answer, that's great. I'll just keep chatting, and if you do. But I received a message today, and it was from somebody that I don't know that saw one of my videos on here on YouTube. And it was an older video that I had made about how abuse as a child played a huge part, huge factor in the anxiety that I had started experiencing as a kid and then into my adulthood. It was a tough video. I remember making that, and it was difficult for me to make that because I was sharing very personal things that I went through. You can't tell you're still in bed. You started insulin shots today too, no energy. I was taking Trinitex. I'm terrible at reading words that I don't know. I'm so sorry. I mean that. I'm so sorry that you're having a hard time. So it seems like you have a few things going on between the insulin and then the antidepressant medication. I'm sure it does stink. I hope you have a good support system. I don't know, what your living situation is like, if you're on your own or if you have like a close circle of friends and family, but I always tell people, okay, I don't know what kind of person you are, but I always say that if you have people in your life that say to you, I'm here for you if you need, take them up on that. Take them up on that. Because, and I've said this before, if you had a friend or a family member that was in your situation, you'd want to be there for them. Right? My sister, I love dearly. She would kill me if she knew I even was mentioning her on this, but my sister is somebody who doesn't like to ask for help. She doesn't. She doesn't like to feel like she's putting anything on people. She can handle it all herself. And I always say to her, but I love you and I'm here for you and I want to help you. And if I ever needed your help, you'd be there for me in a heartbeat. So if you have people that are in your life that can help you through this and support you through this, I hope you do, and I hope you're taking them up on it, because when you're not feeling well, right, whether it's mentally, physically, or anything else, it's really difficult to sort of navigate on your own. But yeah, I got this message from somebody who had seen that video of mine that I had made a while back, and it was a really emotional message. Because this person, oh, and I get emotional, crap. I feel the tears coming. But this person said that they felt like they were going through life just as sort of like a factor of what happened to them as a kid. And they kept owning that so much. And then they listened to something I had said. They didn't say specifically what it was, but it made them realize that that doesn't have to be what the rest of their life is and the rest of their mindset is. And they really connected to that video I made. And it made me feel so, I guess, grateful that I have this platform, so grateful that I shared that because it connected to that person in that way. And Lori, I just saw that you commented. Ugh. And oh, there it is. Okay. Lori said, me and my 19-year-old son basically solo here. Oh man. My ex-husband called me that he was concerned. Okay. Well, okay, now they're like right in my face. So is that good though? Is that good that your ex-husband called you? Again, not knowing you at all. But is that something like, do you have a connection there, a friendship there at least, or at least a decent relationship that he called to just say he was concerned about you? Hopefully you do. Hopefully you have like a genuine connection there, because that's a lot. That's a lot to go through, you know, when you're mentally not doing well, like I said, mentally, and then physically, it seems like you have some other stuff going on too. But I'm so glad that you could talk to him. Oh, good. It was good. Yes, a good friend. That's so good. That is right. You find the support maybe in a place that you didn't know it would come from, like an ex. But that's so great that you spilled your guts. Good. Good. And I don't know about you, but like, when I spill my guts, like whether it's I go live a lot because I always say I find it to be free therapy, whether it's here or Facebook or Instagram. I have no problem just kind of being like, bleh. Sometimes I leave that feeling emotionally exhausted. And then, but more times than not, I feel like I took like that poison that was just sort of like crushing my spirit and my brain and everything. And I just like threw it up all over the place. Yep. And just got it out. So that's so good. That's so good that you talked about it, right? Because, gosh, I know I was saying, I don't even remember what platform I was saying it on, but for so long, I didn't talk about how I was feeling. For so long, I just walked around being the person that I wanted to be, but not really the person I felt like I was, if that makes sense. I wanted to be this happy-go-lucky person that was there for everybody and in the mix of like, you know, making things good for people, working with people who have autism and fundraising. I love all that stuff. That's genuinely what I love to do. But inside, you understand, I'm sure. But inside, I felt like if my inside and my outside matched, I felt like I would have just been like a gothy looking person. No judgment and offense towards goth people, but you know what I mean? Like I felt like I just would have been like really intimidating look. That doesn't sound nice towards people who like the whole goth look. I don't know if that even exists anymore, but you know what I mean? Like I didn't match. I didn't match. Yes, like blah, like sludgy. And it would come out in all different ways. It would come out in me being like nasty to my inner circle, my husband, being really short, fused about things, being really kind of secluded, you know, because I felt such a, I don't know, like a shame in how I was feeling. I did. I felt like, and I've said this before, I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like there was really something that was so unique and different in a bad way about how I was feeling. Like this can't possibly be what anxiety is. Anxiety seems like, you know, just a common word. That can't possibly be what all of this is. You know, my intrusive thinking, my fear of the what ifs, and that can't possibly be something that other people experience. Like I felt like I was going crazy. And when I started to talk about it to my husband, to a friend, to this, that, Lori says, yep. My ex was like, dear, you are disconnected from reality. Yeah. You know, and that's how I just like jammed my back on the step. But once I started to talk about it, and it was interesting, it was actually YouTube. I found somebody, I don't know if you ever heard of Tiffany Jenkins. She's freaking fantastic. I love her. She's not like, you know, Miss Prim and Proper motivational. She's like real deal, like mom with the hair. But I mean, I don't know your interest, but Tiffany Jenkins, she's like, you know, a mom that sometimes comes on with like, you know, the mom soccer bun in her hair. She had this story of being a hardcore addict of drugs and how she came from that to like having a full life again. But she's like a hot mess half the time. She's hella funny. She's great. Tiffany Jenkins. I think it's called Juggling the Jenkins is her sort of social media platform. But anyway, I was listening to her one day and she was talking about her anxiety. Yes, I will. I'll absolutely put it in. I don't know. Can I do that while I'm talking? I don't know. But I'll definitely put it in afterwards. She was talking about how with her anxiety, how she would have these things called intrusive thoughts. And she's like, I would always think about like Dateline. You know the show Dateline? Like, you know, a mother goes out to her car and then is kidnapped and never heard from again. Like she would have these narratives playing in her head about everything, like worst case scenario about things. And as I was listening to her, I was like, oh my God, that's me. Like that's what I do on a daily basis. I think worst case scenario about everything. I feel like everybody around me is going to die. Horrible things are going to happen to my husband. My kids are going to go to school. I'm never going to see them again. Hi, Nate. How are you? Just talking mental health stuff. And I was just so like, holy crap, this woman is talking about the same crap I'm feeling. She's not crazy. Well, hi, Nate. Thanks for popping in for a sec. She's not crazy. I'm a little out there, but maybe this is actually not me going crazy. I genuinely, all kidding aside, I genuinely thought that. I thought that my way of thinking was me slowly losing my mind. And that's not a fun way to think. So when I started to look into it more, when I started to talk about it, I cannot tell you how many people would text me and would email me and would talk to me if I knew them like in real life and be like, I do the same shit. I do the same exact thing. Like, really? That's not just a weird thing that like my brain is, no. So I started talking to one of my friends who suffered from anxiety. And that's how I sort of went on my path to talking to my doctor and making the decision to start medication. You're not crazy. I know this because I'm crazy. Hi, Dave. And thanks, Dave. But yeah, I did. I came from that place of feeling like, oh, Walter, my doggy is hitting my stand. Hey, buddy. Feeling like everything that I was feeling was me, and I'm using the word psychotic, not in a sarcastic way, but truly, I felt like this must be what it feels like to slowly go insane, because I did not understand really the depths of what anxiety can do to a person, because I thought anxiety was just feeling a little nervous, right? So then it wasn't until like I went to therapy and I started talking about things and really educating myself that I realized how deep anxiety can go and how much it could affect your thinking. Physically, it could affect you. It could affect your relationships and how you react to things. And the more I started to learn about that and talk about it, the more I was like, holy Hannah, oh dear God, thank you. Okay, this has a name to it, and it's not being psychotic. It's having something to do with my mental health in a way that could be treated. So this whole conversation had started, for anybody that's coming in a little late. I got an email today, a message from somebody that I don't know that happened to see a video that I did months back where I was talking about abuse, like abuse that I had experienced as a child, and how through therapy, I realized that all of my anxiety kind of started there. You know, it started there of not feeling safe and not feeling trusting in situations, because I was in a lot of situations that weren't safe and that I couldn't trust. And this person in the email had said to me that they've been through similar things, and then they were watching my video, and it made them sort of have a different perspective, that they don't have to own that to the point where they're that person anymore. And it made me feel so good. Like, of course I was crying, right? Because like, that's what I do. But it made me feel so good that I could be that for somebody else. Like how Tiffany Jenkins, when she was talking about her what if, anxiety thoughts, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that's me, that I could do that in a small way for someone else. because when you go through something that's so personal and it affects you on such a deep level, I think a lot of us feel like it's really unique in that it doesn't like exist or happen to a lot of others. And if I talk about it, I'm going to seem damaged, or I'm going to be judged, or I'm going to seem crazy, or whatever it is. So a lot of times we try to like stuff it. You know, I'm going to stuff it down, and I'm going to focus on my family or my kids or my job or all the things that all the normal people are doing. And I'm going to ignore all the stuff that I just shoved in there. And then eventually all that stuff is like, guess what? Blah, 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 blah. And it bubbles up and it comes out in all different ways. So it was interesting because I had recently made a video. I was just kind of given an update because I was getting a lot of questions in the comment section on some of my mental health stuff. You know, how are you doing now? What are you taking? Were you fearful of taking medication? So I kind of gave an update on that. And overall, I was saying that thankfully, my mental health is like in a good place, which is bizarre considering the state of the world. But it was interesting because today, when I was at work, I started feeling this anxiety that I haven't felt in a while because I'm on the medication and it works out for me. But again, it doesn't make me void of emotion. It doesn't make me void of feeling things. It makes me able to handle it more. But this morning, the news was on where I was, and it was talking about the inauguration tomorrow. And I found myself in this what if cycle that I know a lot of people are doing. What if this happens? What if people do this in response to Biden and this, that, and the other? And I found myself getting very anxious out of the fear of not being safe, out of the fear of something catastrophic happening. And in the past, I would allow that seed of fear to spiral out of control to the point where I would like physically start to feel like I was choking, like I was hyperventilating. I'd start crying, like I was breaking out and like physically it would have a reaction over me. But because I was able to recognize it, I kind of did all these little tricks that I've been learning about controlling the controllable, you know. Nate says, Brie, I find you very relatable and fun because you tell us about yourself and I think you're a badass. Well, thanks. Thanks, Nate. I appreciate that. But yeah, I focused on what I could control because I can't control what happens at the Capitol. I can't control what people I don't know decide to do in response to anything. I can't control any of that. The only thing I could control in that moment was what I had to do at work with the person that I was providing services to, because I work with an adult who has autism. The only thing I could control was my reaction to what I was watching. So you know what I did? I turned off the TV. Turned it off. I'm like, I don't need to know anything else. I know the inauguration is tomorrow. I don't need to know and see the pictures of the military. Boop, turning it off. Because for me, funny, I'm wearing camouflage, it was giving me such anxiety. And in the past, I would go in deep. I'd be like watching all the stuff, Googling all the things, feeding myself all the stuff that I had no business doing because it was affecting me in such a negative way. So I shut off the TV. I focused on what I could control. And then sometimes when I need a little extra like thing from the toolbox, I do this thing that I'm sure many people have heard, and my cousin actually had kind of introduced it to me, and it's like just calming your body by focusing on, man, you sound like me. I got you, Lori, I got you. But I kind of look around and it's like you focus on the things you could see and the things you hear. It's all sensory, right? Okay, so I heard while I was at this person's house, I heard the microwave going. I heard the air fryer on because I had something in there for him. I could see the wind blowing the tree. It sounds super cheesy and super like kumbaya. And thank goodness, honey, I'm so glad I found you. Oh, Lori, I'm glad you found me too. And I'm glad I found you. But it sounds super like, I don't know, home, whatever. But it works because when you're focusing on things that you hear, see, smell, can touch, your brain can't be focused on all the other shit that's making you like spin out inside. And it's just a way to kind of center your thinking. So that's what helps me. Of course, the medication. For me, I swear by it. I know it doesn't work for everybody. Your first medication may not work for you. That might not be something that you subscribe to. It might be something that you have to try different medications and talk to your doctor about dosages and side effects and all of that. But for me, it has been a game changer. But I also need to have my little tools for when, things are starting to get to me a little bit. I can't just say, oh, I'm medicated, everything's great, I'm not going to take any responsibility for my emotions. So I have those little tricks. I control the controllable. I focus on what's in front of me. I do the whole little sensory exercise. It just kind of like, whew, this is my sign for, brings me into focus. But like I said, I wasn't planning on coming on. I just wanted to come on because that message really, it meant so much to me that this person took the time to email me to just say, thank you for sharing something really personal you went through, because it affected them in a positive way to help them. So I was just like, oh man, I gotta hop on and just share that, because that's pretty cool. That's that's my why. Like when you talk about why you do things, that was my why of starting this YouTube channel. It was because I realized after going live on Facebook that I'm not the only one struggling with stuff. And I really love the idea of putting it all out there and being open and honest with people so that they realize, oh, okay, I'm not the only one going through it. And then I also do my parody stuff and my nonsensical stuff and voice my opinions on things, because that's what I do. But Lori, I'm so glad that you were a part of this. I really am. I'm so glad you were a part of this. Nate says, I think it would be nice if you did a video on your tricks and how you do them. As far as the tricks in the toolbox, like anxiety type stuff, I think that's a really good idea, Nate. Ding, 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 ding. I think that's a really great idea, actually. Because I talk a lot about the medication side of things, but there are also things that you can do. Like, let's say you just need a little extra gravy and cherry on top. I would never put gravy and cherry together. Whipped cream and cherry on the top, right? You need a little extra something to help you through it. Nita, love that. There you go. I'm doing it. I'm putting it on the whiteboard. Toolbox tricks. I'm absolutely, thank you, Nate. But Lori, I wish you so much just health and love and support, and please keep in touch. Please, please, please. Makes me feel like I'm not cray-cray. You're not cray-cray. You're not. And what did Nate say? Nate said, where did those comments go? There it goes. Nate says, maybe a video where Bree goes through breathing exercises. Dude, you know what? I love the ideas, because it's interesting that with the adults that I work with, when I used to work in the center, I would have adults who happen to have developmental disabilities, but also experience great panic or anxiety. And I would put them through sort of breathing exercises, and we would go through here's your coping toolbox. And I kind of make that for myself. So I love that, Nate. Thank you for that idea. I'm absolutely going to work on that. Yeah, but Laura, you're not cray-cray. You're not. I say that, oh, big airplane or something coming up ahead. Oh, helicopter. Hello, news helicopter. I say that with all seriousness. Hi, Sophie. I say that with all seriousness because and I know I already said this, I truly felt like that for so long. I truly felt like I was crazy for so long. And it didn't help that in my family, I've had, relatives that are passed now, but had such significant mental health struggles where I was like, well, I guess I'm just doomed to repeat what happens in your family with family members. I talk about that with my fear of medication because addiction runs in my family. I was like, well, I can't take medication because then I'm just going to become an addict. And that you don't have to fulfill the path that people ahead of you traveled on. You don't have to do that. I think it's great when you know that that exists in your family, right? It's sad that they went through it, but when you know that exists, you know what to look out for. You know what to discuss with your doctor. You know to say, listen, I'm afraid of addiction. I'm afraid of taking something that could be addictive, right? Then it's good to use that as information. Lori says I've been laid off since March, so it doesn't help. I hear you, girl. My entire work life has changed, just like so many people with the pandemic. You know, I just started going back to work 2 days a week. Cray is in your fam. Me too. Me too. Yeah, and it makes you feel like, well, if it exists somewhere on my family tree and I'm starting to feel a little abnormal, I must be going towards that branch of the tree, you know? And the truth is, like, things change, like medical interventions change, what people know about mental illness changes, you know? Years ago, people aren't talking about this openly. You know, it didn't exist because there's all these stigmas around and all these judgments. I mean, all that still exists too with people. Like you mentioned depression or bipolar, and right away, like some people are like, ugh. But it's a different time, you know, and it doesn't mean that you have to be the same. Nate says, I think I've become more of a procrastinator because of quarantine, weirdly. Yeah, but that makes sense. That makes sense, you know. Lori says, I work in Broadway in New York City as a scenic artist. Oh, that's so freaking cool, Lori. So theaters are closed, so no work. That is so cool. I mean, cool that that's what you do. Not cool, you know what I mean. That sucks. I'm on Long Island, so I love going into the city and all the craziness that the city brings and theater district and all that, and it sucks now. So yeah, Lori, that sounds awesome, right? That does sound awesome. That sounds like an amazing job, actually. You definitely procrastinate. I set alarms on the phones. Yeah, me too. Actually, now that we're talking about time, hold on 1 minute, please. I just gotta see what time it is. Okay, no, I'm good. But I just realized that the mailman truck is right there. And my boy Walter has a thing with the mailman that's so like stereotypical of a dog or a mailman. He's going to go into like attack mode in a moment. My nice docile boy. Yeah, no, I've talked about this too with procrastination. I always say, well, when I have like a little bit less time to get things done, I get them done back. Like if I'm not gonna work on a report 3 weeks before it's done, I'll do it the night before because then I know I really get it done. Like I make up all these excuses about how procrastinating works for me. And I mean it does, because if there is shit that has to get done, I'm gonna get it done, but I'm gonna make myself so stressed out about it because I'm gonna wait until like it's due in 2 hours. And then I'm like, forget it. If I have to host a holiday, my mom and my sister are like, what are we eating? I'm like, I have no idea. And then I go shopping the day before. Everybody's stressed out, but it works, I think, for me. Probably not. But yeah, I am the worst procrastinator. And I get how quarantine would make you more of a procrastinator, because it's like, for a while there, I feel like we were all like, the pause button was hit and everybody was just kind of waiting, and we're still waiting. Like, when does the world fully get back to normal, right? So kind of people stop doing certain things. You do that. You work great under pressure. Yeah, me too. But then I stress out about it. Nate says, I can't stand that on YouTube the comments like disappear. Okay, Nate said, I found if I worked more and did more stuff. Oh, and Nate, oh crap. There's the mailman. There he is. Where is he? See him across the street. Oh, here we go. And we're done. So on that lovely note, I am going to go because this is going to continue for at least another five minutes until the mailman leaves. But I'm so glad. I'm so glad you guys joined. Lori, I'm so glad to have met you. Stay in touch. Be well. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.